capable enough of that. But I don't know whether is it a right choice to go at 25, 26 to do your masters. I think I'm in kind of a right age. So I wanted your advice on that regarding, is it okay to wait, or right, 24 is the right age where I can go there and explore and still have time after that? Because this is something it worries me.
Why you think age is a factor? What's the reason?
Because like, because it's a very common notion over here. I know people over there think a very different way, but this is something, that I have kind of starting to feel nowadays.
No, 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 no,
That
let me put it this way. Why you think age bothering you? Forget about what people think. Why you think
Yeah,
it's bothering you? That's more important.
for me, because I think like this formative years, I have so much of energy and so much of enthusiasm. I don't want to waste it. Like, I want it to be utilized in the best form. I have the best mindset as of now. The most creative part of my mind is active now. I don't
Right.
want it to slow down over time with negative
Yeah.
thoughts coming my way.
Yeah, yeah. So that is the right reason. You're right, absolutely. That is the right reason.
Yeah,
So it happens, right? It happens for sure. But it also depends on once you start working, where you are working or what you're working on. Because let's say people who are working in Google or who are working at
yeah,
NASA or somewhere, their mind is always active, right?
yeah,
So again, if you start working with the people who are or in a company who is very conventional, not giving challenges, of course you will have that problem at any stage of your life. So it also depends on that. But I would say you are more or less right, that this is the probably the right time where you can start developing yourself and taking challenges, and also there is a saying, Kel, you don't want to die rich. You want to
yeah,
become rich as early as possible, right? So
yeah.
that is also very important, that you want to make sure that you are finishing stuff at the right age so that you can harvest those fruits, right?
Exactly, exactly.
So yeah, that is also see, again, these are all personal choices, and I can't answer those. You have to make that decision. But I would can only tell you this is the right thinking in the right direction.
Right.
For sure. But
Because
but as I said
yeah,
also, don't be stupid in making a decision that you're going to
yeah,
jump on something because something is exciting you. If any thought that comes to your mind, I would say, as you're talking to me, consult. That's why I said do your homework. You know, um, because this COVID is very unusual situation, and I can only tell you the facts, what is going on in the ground.
yeah,
And I have never seen anything like this in last 15 years I'm in US, to be honest with you, and nobody has seen, right? And you don't want to be in this scenario,
yeah,
especially if you have a job,
yeah, yeah,
right? So don't take it lightly for sure. But I would say your thoughts and everything is the right direction. It's going into it's all everything is in the right direction. Only thing I would say, if so, it boils down to what my interest is, right? Am I
yeah.
interested so much? So if you're interested that so much, just make sure that you have the right information also,
Right.
so that once you are ready, once you are here, you know what can happen and what could not happen, and you are ready, not ready for surprises, or you are ready for surprises, and that won't
Exactly.
surprise. But I said I will definitely say that, as I said to you, number one, all these big universities you talked about, MITs, CMUs, Northwestern, competitive ones, you in looking at your CV, you need to do something extra there. You talked about new product ideas you have in your mind, all that. I said put it in a paper. Try to say that if that I think that is something that can leverage you if you have something to back it up rather than just to talk. That's more
Yeah,
important, because
yeah,
I have some ideas in my mind too, but ideas means nothing until you put down,
yeah,
right? And also I said talk to professors. Maybe you're able to find a scholarship, maybe not. That's totally up there, so you can have that decision too. um, but I would say, I would also tell you one thing is, let's say if you are into the master's program at Carnegie Mellon, let's say at robotics, which is very sought out program, right? And product development and that sort of a thing. I would definitely tell you that Job should not be of a that problem. Finding a job should not be that of a big deal because these are also sought out programs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as
And
the same
as
time
much
I
as
said,
yeah.
as the same time I tell you, I already know 2 3 people who have already got into this program for next year.
Okay.
Yes,
Because
from
as
India.
much as research as I have done, yeah, I have not seen or heard of a lot of people, having an idea about this program. It's something very new to them. Even the IDM, Integrated Design and Management program at MIT, is something very few people know about. It's an integrated course of your design, business, and your basic engineering. And because I'll tell you what, during the lockdown for the last 6 months, I was also working extensively on a business model of my own, just in case, if I get if I could raise fund for myself, I want to develop those products for myself. So I had a complete vision, on written, a complete business model of what my product would be, how the venture is going to be like, what are the customers we're going to focus on, what are the aesthetics and the functionality of those products the lineup is going to be. So somewhere in my SOP, the statement of purpose that I have written, I have kind of backed it off as a storytelling, wherein the proof of what I'm saying in my SOP is reflected on my portfolio. So my CV, my SOP, and my portfolio becomes a storyline wherein bits and pieces from here, you'll get an idea over there in my SOP, and it will give you clarity in my portfolio. So that's how basically I have a thought after that. Uh, because I know, because I do not come from an IIT background, nor do I come from an NIT background. So the only thing I can justify myself to the committee would be my work. That's it.
Hey, but
So
as I told you, um, if your idea is to get into the program of your choice, um, you can go to a university A in August 2021.
mhm,
Let's say if you're not able to get admission in the choice of your university or wherever you want to go, or you can go to university of your choice by working towards that program or do more into your CV for another 1 year and go after that. The reason I say so because hopefully the COVID situation will be okay.
mhm,
And then your decision to move there, because you just started thinking about this, right? Your decision would be more justified within you. And 1 year, you can, I think it's not like you have to wait for 5 years, but the decision will be right decision. See, the important thing is that not to get into a program. The important thing here is to get into a program where you're gonna enjoy, you're gonna like, or you want,
exactly,
right? On the
exactly.
top, if you have to pay from your pocket, if somebody is paying you, I can, that's fine because you don't have anything to lose, right? But if you have to pay from your pocket, then you want to get into the program of your choice. So you can take that risk by applying to that program, not risk, but actually you can go ahead and apply to those programs now and see if you can get admission and what the situation is. If you get, everything is fine, go ahead. But let's say if you're not, then just don't panic too much, because you can get into university A next year also. But do more homework in your CV. Try to see how can I implement it. Try to get some feedback from committee saying that, okay, how can I make it better, or engage a professor or something. So
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
yeah. Because I have a backup plan in terms of if I do not get into Northwestern, because that's the my focus, that
Yeah.
particular program. But if I don't get into the US Northwestern, I had the second option is UK London. I'm basically looking at Imperial College of London, that has the exact same curriculum and this exact same name. That's the Engineering Design Innovation. But the problem is it's just a 1 year program over there.
Most of the MS programs in UK are 1 year.
Yeah, so I wanted your feedback on that, because that's something concerning me a lot. Like, a 2 year program cannot be compared to a program. It cannot teach you or give you the experience a 2 year program would give.
I
So how
agree.
can I justify? Yeah,
I mean, it's, a lot of people, they do the MS program because they say, hey, that's my easiest way to go to UK, and 1 year I'm done and I'm going to find a job. That's one way to think also, right?
Yeah.
One other thing is that you have to also compare what is the cost of the programs. So let's say if you're in Northwestern
Mhm.
and if you have to, so 1 year, let's say 40,000, $80,000 versus 50,000 pounds. So
Of
again,
course.
it's like, what are you looking for? Because ultimately at the end of the year, you want to work somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And if you're really good at it, but I agree with you. One of the reason probably I didn't go to UK for that program is because of 1 year thing. That also bothered me quite a lot. But as I said, I didn't have to worry about paying for my tuition also. So
Yeah. Because my idea is, let's say I have done 2 years program, 2 years masters in US, and let's say if I go and do 1 year's masters in my in UK, and after 3 4 years, let's say if I need to come back. Okay, so what is the weightage that 1 year degree gonna be on my profile, and what is the weightage that 2 year degree is gonna be on my profile? Because I know doing 2 years masters is not good enough in US. It's a high risk taking. Somewhere down the line, I have to keep in mind that I will have to come back to India. So I wanted to know that.
I can tell you one thing for sure. You're talking about future. I can tell you one thing for sure is your future will depend on what you are doing at that point of time. So let me put it this way. Nobody cares where I graduated or what I do in my undergrad. Nobody cares what I do, what I did, where I graduated from my master's. Nobody cared what I did, where I graduated from my even from my PhD. You understand my point?
Yeah,
I got my next best thing based on my next what I did just before that. Most of the time. See, here's the thing. A lot of people who graduate from IITs or any other universities, that degree is only good for the first job.
yeah,
But once you are there, your performance in that company gives you any sort of a promotion or bonuses or any leverage. You
correct.
understand my point? So you can't use that leverage all the time. You're talking about what is going to happen when I go back. I would say same thing. I would say it depends on what you're going to do after that, your degree, and what you learn. See, here is the important thing. Learning is more important.
Yeah.
Knowing things is more important.
Mhm.
I mean, I am not giving a lecture here, but look at all the big, these Apple and all these company CEOs, they didn't have a degree too, right? So that's what I'm saying. I mean, these are the things, right? So knowing things, what you can contribute, what you know, the degree can always give you do you think everybody who graduates from MIT becomes a CEO of some company?
Not at all.
Right? So the data doesn't show that. So that means what? People who know the stuff. Of course, good people go to good schools and then they do good. That's okay. But not everybody graduates from that school does good. It's also only depends on what you've been doing, what you do.
Yeah.
So again, focus on your learning. Focus on creating value for yourself and where you can get that value, whether it's Imperial, whether it's Northwestern, whether it's in IIT Bombay, whether it's in ABCD, doesn't matter. Because when you have that value, I think you will be judged by that value, that particular thing, and your next best thing will come based on that.
Yeah.
So let's say if you're able to design a product, right, in your mind, if you have something very very interesting, your value will be based on that, around that. The VC who's going to fund your product or is going to say, okay, I'm going to fund your product. This looks amazing, is based on that, not from where you graduated. Maybe they will get influenced a little bit about, okay, you are from MIT and all that. But if your product is shit, who cares?
Yeah.
So I don't think you should think too much about that sort of a thing. It's more focused on learning, more focused on see, that's what I'm saying. You are so much you talk about so much interest into the North West program. Put your energy to get in there if you that's what you think.
Yeah. The reason I have developed this kind of a perspective is because I was a victim of this, let's say, because if you see my undergrad degree, my college, my first opportunity, because when I was doing my undergrad, I was so confident with myself that if just give me an interview and I can, I can just impress you with the kind of vision I have, the thoughts that I have. But to my surprise, nothing of that happened. Till date, I could never ever get into a core degree, a core job where what my interest is. Everything that came my way was an offset of actually what I was doing. So because this is the notion I have, that if you belong to a good university, is the first opportunity hits, strikes you better. You get a better
But
opportunity in the front.
yeah, but you create opportunities also. So let's say if you are not able to get into a good school for the first time, you create your opportunity that way. I mean, I didn't went to MIT, and I think I'm doing good. And the reason is very simple: is you have to create those opportunities and not stop thinking about it. The day
Right.
you're gonna stop thinking about it, then